Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're going to be talking about something I've just noticed. Well, not just noticed. It's been happening for quite a while, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like I need to address something about it, and to put my own thoughts behind it, I guess. And that being, uh, the constant, I guess, hate train for 343 and their games and whatever. Um, I've noticed that a lot more games, or not games, but videos, have been coming out talking about all of 343, you know, what they believe 343 has messed up on and whatever. Um, but the thing is, I don't know how I feel about this. To be honest, besides the fact that I feel like it's being taken to a kind of a ridiculous degree. I don't know. I feel like it's getting a bit out of hand of how many people are just like wailing on just 343, and I feel like it's a little unjust, a little unfair to them, to be honest. Like I get it, you know. I know they messed up quite a bit, and I'm not gonna get into like details of what I think, uh, what I believe they did wrong or right. I'm not here to talk about that. But what I am here to talk about is if you want to, if you consider yourself a true Halo fan, I suggest this. Don't just slander 343. Don't just you know, just annihilate them with every possible criticism you have on your list. Like, it's a little absurd. Um, and it's very, I personally, I find it to be very unprofessional as well, uh, for a multitude of reasons. So one being that it's very, like I said, even if your points, you think they are valid, and you can even prove it, whatever. It does not mean it gives you the right to just rant and rant and rant on 343, because like I said, I I get it. I get it. 343 have, messed up quite a bit. They haven't lived up the expectation as we hoped. Um, and I get that. They are. I do think they are trying though. I mean, you can't tell me that they aren't. I mean, they are definitely listening a lot more now. I mean, they changed their entire art style, mixing Halo 4's and Reach's, looks, kind of like blending them together, and it's great. A lot of new cool things are coming from 343, I would say, and the Halo Infinite's Forge. They're working on that right now, which looks amazing. By the way, it looks way better than any other Forge. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not really here to talk about that. What I'm really here to talk about is just, if you're gonna make a video like that, if you want to make the Halo landscape as we know it I guess, better place, if you want to make it seem more professional, if you want to actually, you know, what's the word I'm looking for here? If you want to make a valid point to 343, I suggest you do this. Do not start just wail, because I notice a lot of people do this. They they attack 343 in every way they can think possible, and then they try to say, well, then they put in the positives, and then they say like what they could do, better or whatever. Here is how I think you should do it, honestly. I mean, I and I'm not saying like, uh I'm not saying like do it my way. Like this isn't the way like. I'm not telling you to like you're wrong if you don't do it my way. But what I am saying is try to understand it from a business perspective. Don't you? Because if all you're doing is starting out the video with you wailing on them, they're not gonna listen to you. They just all they hear is just you complaining. They're not gonna care. All right, they're not. I mean, they will, but they're not gonna take you very seriously because it's found to be very unprofessional. And you know, I would say the same thing. I think, you know, for anyone, like let's say for instance, you know, like let's just say for instance, someone like rants about me for even uploading, let's just say this video, I guess. Let's go on with that. All right. I'm not gonna listen to someone that is just wailing on, oh, legendary founding titan is this, this, and this, and this. You know, just saying all this negative crap. I'm just gonna straight up ignore you. Like that's just how it is, and that's the same way that 343 is. 343 is. I'm not saying this is how 343 acts. I don't think. But as a business perspective, that's how I kind of would assume it goes along. Because if you're just wailing on them, then they're just gonna think, well, this guy has nothing good to say about us, and he just hates us because whatever. And I feel like in order to make it better, in order for them to actually take you a bit more seriously, do it like this, all right? In my opinion, you don't put criticism first. In fact, don't put it in at all, actually. And why do I say that? I say that because it's undeserving. I say it because I don't think they deserve your criticism, to be quite honest. Uh, like, just be grateful that 343 is even making Halo games. Just be grateful for that. You know, most game franchises don't go 2 decades like Halo has. And thanks to 343, we have an extra decade. Whether it's good or bad, you could argue. We still have a Halo game to look forward to. We still have frequent updates from 343. Just be grateful we even have a franchise still. Even if it is at its lowest point, you could argue. You know, for those hardcore fans, you know, just be grateful that you even have this. And I'm not saying just, you know, be all forgiving. You know, I'm not saying that per se. What I'm saying is, though, in order for 343 or really anyone to address a valid point without becoming out like coming out like a complete ass, basically, you want to, because I could definitely say I could definitely say quite a bit of negatives about 343, but I could also say a lot of positives about them too. I think anyone could, but I just find it very unprofessional when you're just wailing on them. So here is my suggestion, basically. So in order for you to address the point, right, and not come out like an a-hole, I guess, kind of like just say, like, start out with the video saying what's missing. Like, just start out with, like, don't just go into an angry rant about it, because they're not going to take you seriously, and I doubt your viewers will either. It's more like, at least for me, I can't really say this for everyone, but when I see someone just ranting about it, like, very unprofessionally, I'm not going to take them seriously. And it's because a lot of times when people do that, they make it seem a lot worse than it actually is, and then when you actually play it, it's, you know, it's a lot better than what that person said. And it happens quite often too, where that happens. So, like I said, don't use unjust anger to describe things. Like, just, you know, try to say, hey, 343, I think you I think you need to do a bit better with game designs, or not game designs, but map designs. That's what I meant to say. Map designs. The maps are just kind of particularly boring. They're not bad, but they're just boring. Like, just say something like that. Like, just say something like they just need like to add more, maybe more cover to the map, or add more terrain. Like, just something that you think, that they need to add, and then they're gonna critique your points, and they'll listen to you a lot more. I feel, um, by being a lot more professional. And then after you go through the things that 343 is actually missing, go through the positives of the game. Go through what 343 has done pretty good. Like the art style perspective, right? The art style perspective got a lot better since Halo 4 and 5. Start with that, and just say, like, I like how they combined, Halo Reach and, threes, or not Halo Reach, not threes, but Halo Reaches and 4's art style. Let's say something like that, right? And then you can make another point saying something else that's good, blah 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 blah. And then after you do that, just end the video by saying something like, I hope, like, just say something like, not negative, just say like, I want you guys to do, like, I know you guys are trying, basically, I just want you guys to do better. That's it. That's all you gotta do. And I feel like your video would be a lot more professional, and it would be a lot more respected by 343, rather than just, because you wailing on it does not help them make their game better. It doesn't. Try to critique the point of making the game better. You wailing on it is not going to do that. And I think people fail to realize that. Like, yes, and I know why people do it. It's for easy views. It's really just for easy views. People love seeing people rant about a game that they thought could be better, and blah 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 blah. And and don't. I hate when people say at the end of the video that, I really wanted them to succeed. I really wanted them to, whatever. I really wanted them to, like, I really do care for this game, but then they go into, like, a negative thought process again, all over again. It's like, okay, if you actually care about the game, why are you making a super critical and negative response in your video? Like, that doesn't make sense to me, because all you're doing, right, all you're doing is scaring away, or not really scaring, but like pushing away the people that maybe thought they wanted to get, maybe they thought they wanted to get the game, right? And then because of you actually putting up this video and saying, this game sucks, I hate it, it's boring and blah blah blah, because you said that, people are leaving Halo, and you care for it. Apparently, you scaring them off is what's killing the game. Like, pushing them out. You're pushing them from buying the game because. Now, I'm not saying straight up lie. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just try to be positive. Try to critique 343's points. Like, try to, not just be super hypercritical. Because I know a lot of people that, like, made reviews, they say a lot of good things about the game, but then for some unknown reason they kind of go into this rant tangency where they gotta make like 40 minutes of them just wailing on 343 for no real logical reason. And it's infuriating because, I haven't, I'll say this right now, I haven't actually played Halo Infinite, but I've seen, like, the campaign, the gunplay. I've seen a lot of it. I mean, well, actually, I did play like a couple matches of multiplayer. It was all right. Actually, it was really good. I was probably like some of the best gunplay I've ever had in a Halo game. As far as the story, though, I haven't actually dug into that. But regardless if I have or not, don't be super critical about it. Like, just, you know, just say simple, light-hearted things. Like, just say, like I said, I'm not saying lie out your ass to get people to get the game. I'm saying just critique the, you know, like, get 343 on your good side, basically. And by, like, just addressing, like, what they could fix in what's already good about the game. Then 343 can take that feedback and actually improve upon the game if people actually don't just wail on it. And I feel like that's where a lot of people just kind of counter themselves, I guess. Like, contradict themselves, because they say they care for the game, but yet they are driving the player base away because they said that, you know, oh, the game is trash because of all these reasons. And, you know, and the thing is, I know for a fact that a lot of those people that do things like that actually really enjoy the game. So why are you ruining it for others that haven't experienced it yet? Because they might have thought, well, I'm actually going to get the game soon. And then they see your next video, and then you're just, like, plowing it to the ground. Like, you're not helping the Halo community. And if you are saying, oh, I love the game, I want to see this game thrive, you butchering it like an animal is not going to help. I'm sorry to say, but it isn't. It's super critical. Now, here's the thing. Criticism can come later. If 343 doesn't, like, address, like, anything that we tell them, right? Now you're probably gonna argue and say, well, they didn't do that with Infinite, and it's like, it was, like, not even released yet, and people were being super critical about the game. You know, they complained about the graphics and everything else. And the thing I argue is, when has Halo ever been about graphics? I mean, yes, there was times like Halo 3 looked really good for its time, but Halo games have never had, like, extremely, like, insane graphics, if you ask me. Halo isn't about that either. And the thing is about the graphics as well, is a lot of people's systems won't be able to run Infinite, like compared to before. Like, I've seen a few reviews, not too many, but a few people can't even play it because the graphics are just too insane for their computer or something. Like, forcing people to buy a more expensive computer because people wanted more graphics. As long as the art style fits Halo, that's all you need. That is all you need. I mean, and heck, graphics for any game. I mean, I know this is just my opinion, but I don't really think it ever has been a huge thing. Like, because a lot of the best games out there, like, you know, Left 4 Dead 2, I mean, a lot of good games had not really that great of graphics, but they are amazing games, you know. And I don't know. I just don't see why people had to complain about it, because the thing is about that, 343 had to scrap their entire project because of that, and they had to start from scratch, and people wonder why it took them a year longer, because they had to start from scratch. That's why an extra year for them wasn't enough, because people complain about their, you know, their trailer and everything, their first Halo Infinite trailer that they released, and people complain about the graphics so much that they had to redo the whole system, and it wasn't even done yet. Like, they didn't verify it was gonna look exactly like that, and, you know, people were just, you know, just pounding it to the ground, and they had to scrap the whole system because of it. So I don't know. But back to my original point is that if you're going to talk anything about Halo Infinite, about 343, do what 343 is lacking. Do a checklist of what you think they are lacking. Like, you know, maybe the maps are, like I said, the maps are not particularly fun to play on, or, you know, just say something like that. You know, just say something simple. Don't be ranting about it don't make an hour-long video just ranting about it. Just critique their points, critique the points that you want to make of, well, like, the maps could be better with more, like, maybe more strategical placement. Like I said, I don't really know the maps in Infinite. I just know that that was a huge thing for, like, Halo 4 and 5, and I've noticed that a lot of people complain about that as well. So, I will agree that their maps are not exactly, like, they're not bad. They're just boring, like, because they're just nothing really to them. They have, like, pretty good landscape, but it's just they feel empty a lot of times, I guess. Um, I don't know. Like I said, I think if you want to make a review about it, you have to do it in a respectable way, so where we can actually get somewhere with 343 instead of just bashing them for whatever reason. Like, you know, I'm just glad to have, you know, I'm just so grateful to even have Halo still around. You know, I thought, you know, I was really upset the day that Bungie left, because I mean, I'm sure a lot of people were, and I'm sure a lot of us thought, well, who's gonna take over for Halo, or is Halo done? You know, we all probably had this question at some point, and to see that 343 is, you know, still making Halo games a decade later, it's just so nice. I mean, and I'm a huge Halo fan, and I get why people are mad, but we gotta help 343 rather than bash them to pieces. We have to help them with making valid points of our own. Help them out with, just don't be hypercritical. Just say, like, simple things, like I said, and maybe you have an issue with some balance issue, like balancing or something. Maybe there's a certain gun that's, you know, OP. I don't know. Maybe just anything. Like, just try to make it more professional instead of just, you know, because it's very bad to start out with saying, and the titles of the videos as well, saying like, you know, 343 is out of time, or, you know, 343 is that they failed Halo. They're like the worst company. Like, no, they haven't, they haven't failed Halo. Halo is still very much alive. Sure, not as alive as it used to, but isn't Halo being alive just enough for you? You would think. Like, and the thing is, I'm pretty sure that 343 has, like, it knows that their maps, for instance, I keep talking about a lot about maps, but like like I said, I don't really know I don't really know a lot about Infinite. I just know about the gunplay looks great, the enemies look amazing, you know, the Banished. I love the Banished from Halo Wars 2. And yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like 343 has definitely learned. Because that's why they brought the art style back. And I'm sure that people informed them about their maps being kind of bland. Because why else would they be making these Forge maps? 343 is, like, allows people to have a lot of freedom with their games with Forge. I mean, you can do more with it than you ever could before. You can literally make your own landscape. You can literally, Like, you can use the magnets to lock things together, because in Halo Reach, like, you know, if you had like a structure perfectly like balanced and like fleshed in with another structure, it would like glitch out. It doesn't do that anymore. Like, it, at least unless you like place it there purposely. But with the magnets, it doesn't really do that. And it makes maps a lot more pleasant to look at, for sure, just that alone. And, you know, and the reason I say I think 343 has learned about their maps being kind of boring, because if you look at Halo Infinite's Forge, it is insane how much you can do with it. I mean, you can weld barricades on tanks. You can like change weather. You can change like, there's like nothing you can't change that I know of. Like, there's a lot you can do with their Forge, and I think it goes back to the point that 343 allows their players to make a lot of stuff for them. That's a good thing. I mean, you think Left 4 Dead or Skyrim would be still alive if players couldn't make the game how they wanted it? No, they would have died ages ago. But because of the modding community and, you know, everything else, they remained alive till this day, 10 years later. And I think 343 is kind of understanding that too, because with their Forge, you can have like, your only limit with that Forge, from my understanding, is your imagination. That is like, because you can literally set up spawn sequences for things that spawn at a certain time. You can, like, there is so much you can do. AI is gonna be in it. I mean, that is just so cool to me. And yeah, to summarize my point is, like, to summarize it, don't be negative about it. Just leave your negatives out. Only help 343 improve their game. You're not going to improve it by ranting on it, because that's only shooting yourself in the foot. You're driving the player base away because you're being so negative that people don't want to buy the game then. And, you know, obviously that's a bad thing. So, like I said, let people experience it themselves and let them decide if it's good or bad. You know, instead of just ranting online about it forever. And because, like I said, you're just contradicting yourself. Like I said, because you say you care about the game, but your actions of uploading that video of you ranting about it says the opposite. And it's really annoying. I mean, I get it. You know, 343's messed up a lot, but they are learning. And, you know, in time, 343 could make the best Halo game possible. It's definitely gonna be the best Halo game possible with Forge. Like, Forge and custom games are gonna be better than ever before, and there's no argument. There's no ifs or buts about it. Like, because there's gonna be so much like things you can create, and that's gonna be very fun when their Forge comes out. So I can't go in depth with the campaign. I can't say anything about it because I don't know too much about it. But I do know that people do enjoy it. So let players experience that instead of driving them away. That's really that. I know I keep saying that, but it's true though. Like, well, if you enjoyed something and you're telling other people that, well, I mean, I liked it for a little bit, but now, you know, it's like, I don't get it. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, I guess. I don't understand why people will do this. And like I said, I want to make if I'm going to be hypercritical about something, or if I want to say something about 343, I'm going to say what they need to hear, not some, because as soon as I see you, especially since a lot of people put their criticism first, as soon as I see that video, they're just gonna be like, well, that's just another guy that hates us, so skip him. Because maybe they do actually go through, you know, videos and they try to critique what people said, but how can they if Like, how can it take you seriously? It just sounds like you're kind of like butthurt or something. Like, it's almost like to the point that people just are complaining because, oh, you didn't do it my way, almost sort of deal. I mean, I know it's not everyone, but it's definitely a huge majority of people that seem to have this negative energy that just really hurts the game. And I hate to see it because 343 is not terrible. I'm not saying that because, oh, he's a 343 fanboy. Like, no. I can definitely give you a lot of criticism that I have with them. I mean, especially the Halo Wars 2 group. I'm really upset about that, how they just abandoned support for that game. But they had higher priorities than Halo Wars 2, and they haven't officially noted that they're completely done with it. They might come back once Halo Infinite's in a decent spot. And like, that's the only group I really feel bad for is the Halo Wars 2. Like, everyone else, though, I don't like every other group. Because Halo 5 had a great multiplayer. Halo 4 had a great campaign. It's a shame that they don't have a best of everything. Like, don't have a great everything in each category. But that's just a part of learning. I mean, for 343, that's just... and I feel like the more they fail, the better they will become. It's just kind of how I like to see it. The thing is, you can't just keep... Because you're also just really making the 343 people feel like shit. I mean, I'd assume at least. I mean, I know I would hate some, like let's just say if I had like 1 million people following me on YouTube. I know I would be very upset if like every one of them are just saying like, yeah, this guy's content and everything just sucks. I mean, I know I'd be upset. And, you know, people that designed a lot of, you know, I know the Season 8 for MCC, the armors and stuff, people really didn't like that. And I can't help but feel bad for the guy that made them because, you know, he spent probably hours, days, making this stuff for the community, hoping that maybe they would like it. But they don't say anything positive about it, which it doesn't even look bad, like, at all. It looks pretty cool, actually. I'd say at least, but I guess no one else agrees. I get it. It doesn't fit the Halo world, I guess, because it is medieval stuff, but I mean, who cares? I mean, it's armor. You're complaining about armor in an FPS. I don't get it. But I just feel bad for the 343 employees. They probably feel like crap because everyone just hates them, it seems like. And I don't know what is the issue. Like, they're not this monster of a company that just wants to see Halo die. If they wanted to kill Halo, they would have stopped at like 5. But they kept going. They made MCC. They've made, you know, Halo Wars 2. They made the anniversary games. You know, and the thing is, they even dropped 360 support for the other Halo games because it was a way for people to come back together on MCC, which is a good thing. Because you can't have the Halo community this separate like it was. I mean, you think about it. Before the 360 servers were shut down, you had all the Bungie games, Halo 4, all on the 360 version, which is like, that's 5-6 games alone right there. And then you have the 4 different Halo Wars games, which are not even cross-platform with each other, I don't think. So that's right there. That's 10 Halo games right there, pretty much. And then on top of this, you have MCC, Halo 5. Like, that's a lot of games to keep up. Like, you're dividing the community by, like, at the bare minimum of, like, what, 12? Like, 15, 16 games? That's a lot of games. So, for them to drop the 360 servers and to put it all on the MCC, since MCC isn't a working state, I mean, that's what I'm playing on right now, you know, it was a good move on their part. They don't want to see the franchise die. It's not, I mean, and it's not like they're not listening either. They definitely are. But I definitely think people need to do better. They need to give 343 advice on what they need and what they already have, like what what good that they already have in the game. That's what people need to start looking at instead of negative. Don't even bother with negatives. Like I'm not saying like be full on a pacifist, just like, you know, like, oh, we gotta suck up to 343. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in a business perspective, if you're being negative, they're not gonna take you seriously. I wouldn't take you seriously either myself. A lot of people wouldn't. I mean, it's just how it is. You just gotta be professional about it. Make notes, and yeah, I think I made my point. So I'm gonna leave the video here. I hope I didn't offend anyone with this. I just wanted to address the point that we need to do better as the community. Because Halo is a good game. It's a great game. It's a great franchise. 343 is doing what they can. And the fact that they kept Halo going for 10 plus years is an achievement on their own. I mean, that's an achievement on their own. Really, it is. I mean, yes, it has gone down in popularity. I get that. People wailing on the franchise isn't gonna help either. That's all I really have to say. So, yeah, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, like I just think that personally, I think we just need to do better for 343. We need to show them more respect, because I would hate to be like, imagine being in a 343 employee, and you know, like you're working on a game, you're trying your best to turn the game around for people, and all you get is hate. You're just getting constant hate. You're like, how would you feel? How would you feel that, you know, someone is taking your work that you done and is just squishing it under like, just like dirt, treating you like dirt? That's basically how we are. That's how the community is with 343, and it's unacceptable. It's ridiculous at this point. This is what I mean. That's what the whole reason I made this video. Like I said, it's not every content creator. It is a lot of them, though. We just need to do better. So 343, you do have my things. Not that you would probably see this video anyway. There's definitely things to complain about 343 games, and I'm not denying that. There's a lot of things to complain about them, but I am just thankful to see the game make it to a 20-year anniversary now. I mean, that's a hell of an achievement, guys. We cannot ignore that. I mean, it's more than 20 years now. It's like, what, 21, 22? Something like that? 22 years? It's a long time. And, I mean, Halo's been around since I've been around. I mean, I'm literally the same age as Halo 1, basically. So, you know, I kind of... the Halo franchise is almost like a sibling to me. I grew up with it, you know. So, I just want people to... I want Halo to keep going, and I want people to just understand what I'm saying in this video. Don't just take it out of context. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're right. But I'm saying that we need to do better and show a lot more respect for 343. And just, like I said, just say what they need in the game, what they already have in the game that's pretty good, and just leave the negatives out. Because the negativity is just toxic, and it's not great for... It's not good for morale either. I mean, if you... Like, because this is probably what 343's thought process is. It's like, well, we're gonna do this update, even though probably no one's gonna like it. But you know, that's what they're probably thinking right now. That no one's gonna like it, and they're gonna get a lot of flack for it, no matter what they do. That's what their thought process is more than likely is. I mean, I know that's what mine would be for sure, after all the crap that they went through. So that's all I gotta say for this video, though. If you enjoyed or agree or disagree with what I've said, just let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I'm not really trying to attack anyone. I'm just trying to... I'm not a suck up for 343. Like I said, I am not disagreeing with anyone. I am just saying that we do need to do a lot better as the community. We need to be a lot more healthy as the community. We can't just be hyper toxic to everything that 343 does. It's just not right. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. Um, really like a comment below at this time, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.